Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we are unpacking what is easily one of the most fascinating, high-stakes technological shifts of our entire lifetime. We're totally moving past the days of AI just helping us tweak a few emails. We are officially entering the era of agentic AI.
It's a pretty heavy question to kick things off, right? But seriously, what if the exact same technology that could cure diseases, optimize our entire global economy, and create near infinite wealth is the very same thing that threatens our existence? That's the ultimate paradox we're exploring today, pulling from some really cutting-edge macroeconomic research and industry data to understand exactly what we're dealing with here.
So here is our roadmap for today. We'll hit 1. The rise of agentic AI. 2. Transforming industries and growth. 3. The cost, displacement, and bias. 4. The ultimate existential dilemma. And finally 5. Charting an ethical path. Section 1. The rise of agentic AI. From content to autonomous action. Okay, let's dive into this. The distinction here is absolutely critical to understand. We all know generative AI by now, right? Things like ChatGPT. It's fundamentally reactive. You give it a prompt, it writes a poem or codes a script, and then it just stops. It waits for you. Agentic AI, on the other hand, is proactive. It doesn't just suggest actions, it actually executes them. It senses its environment, reasons its way through problems, and carries out complex, multi-step workflows completely on its own.
So, the crucial takeaway is that agentic AI operates in a continuous feedback loop. You give it a high-level goal, say, reduce my company's software deployment costs by 10%, and the agent just goes to work. It figures out the steps, collaborates with other AI agents, reviews its own outcomes, learns from its mistakes, and keeps iterating. The human essentially becomes a supervisor rather than the primary operator.
Section 2. Transforming industries and growth. The hyper-growth reality. We are already seeing this hyper-growth reality hitting the ground running in the real world. Over in healthcare, AI is crunching data at literally impossible speeds, aiding in drug creation and even assisting in robotic surgery. But of course, that comes with heavy training complications and a very distinct lack of human emotion. Then in banking, we're seeing the potential for totally objective decision-making and continuous 24/7 monitoring, though that has to be weighed against incredibly costly implementation and the real risk of algorithms degrading over time if they aren't meticulously maintained.
And this all builds into real-world end-to-end execution. In banking, for instance, an AI agent doesn't just approve a business loan and call it a day. It monitors that business's cash flow constantly. If revenue suddenly drops, the AI can autonomously initiate restructuring discussions or adjust credit limits, literally without a human ever clicking a single button. In healthcare, it's not just tossing out a diagnosis. It's streamlining the entire administrative life cycle of a patient's visit, which means doctors can actually get back to focusing on patient care.
And to put the financial incentive into perspective, it is absolutely massive. According to research from McKinsey, just a moderate adoption of agentic AI could enable banks to slash their operational costs by 15 to 20%. That is a staggering efficiency gain for any organization.
Section 3. The cost, displacement, and bias. The human toll.
But look, hypergrowth doesn't happen in a vacuum. Check out this number, 300 million. That is the estimated number of jobs globally that could be displaced by AI by the year 2025. And we're not just talking about blue-collar factory automation like we saw back in the 20th century. This is a fundamentally different beast.
The sectors most vulnerable right now are actually white-collar roles. We are talking about finance, marketing, operations, and administration. In fact, research indicates that 23.5% of companies in the U.S. are already reporting that they've replaced some human workers with AI tools. When an AI can handle lead scoring, customer inquiries, and massive data analysis all on its own, the need for junior-level staff drops off a cliff.
But actually, scratch that. It's not just about losing jobs. It's about who gets hired for the ones that actually remain. Algorithmic bias is a massive, absolutely crucial ethical hurdle. If an AI agent is trained on historically biased data, it's going to execute tasks with that exact same bias, only infinitely faster. We've already seen AI hiring tools misclassify candidates based on demographics. If we remove human judgment and compassion from these systems, we risk literally hardwiring systemic inequalities right into our digital infrastructure.
Section 4. The ultimate existential dilemma. The economic gamble.
So, if agentic AI becomes smart enough to replace our jobs, what happens when it becomes smarter than us entirely?
This question is at the very heart of a groundbreaking theory from a recent NBER working paper by economist Charles I. Jones. He looked at the wild trade-off between the massive growth AI promises and the existential risk of it wiping out humanity. And this brilliantly illustrates what he calls bounded flow utility. In plain English, there is a hard cap on human satisfaction. Even if AI gives us the singularity, a future with infinite wealth and infinite consumption, our actual day-to-day happiness tops out. You can only eat so many amazing meals. You can only drive so many nice cars.
Now, watch how this builds into the value of a year of life curve. As we get richer and our consumption goes up, our lives actually become way more valuable to us. If you are incredibly wealthy and comfortable, you are much, much less willing to take a gamble with your life. So the big question becomes, exactly how much of a risk of human extinction should we tolerate in exchange for the unbelievable wealth agentic AI could bring us?
The economic calculus on this is absolutely wild. If human desire is truly infinite, what economists call log utility, the math suggests we should logically accept a 1 in 3 chance of human extinction if it guarantees our wealth will grow by 55 times over 40 years. Crazy, right? But if you believe in bounded utility, that our satisfaction has a ceiling, like we just talked about, the math completely flips. Under that model, if the risk of an AI-driven extinction hits even 2%, it is mathematically optimal to shut the AI down immediately. The risk simply isn't worth the reward.
But hold on, here is the ultimate twist, the real economic game changer. What if agentic AI doesn't just buy us more stuff, but buy us more time? If AI solves protein folding, cures cancer, and let's say doubles human life expectancy to 200 years, the economic calculus shifts violently. Because mortality improvements are essentially in the same units as existential risk, researchers found that if AI makes us live twice as long, society might statistically tolerate up to a 29% chance of existential ruin just to take that gamble. It is a profoundly fascinating observation about human nature.
Section 5. Charting an ethical path, mitigating the risks.
All right, let's bring this back down to earth. How do we navigate this minefield? We definitely don't have to wait for a sci-fi singularity to take action. For businesses integrating agentic AI right now, today, there is a clear step-by-step framework. First, you've got to rigorously assess how AI will actually impact your specific workforce. Second, bring diverse stakeholders to the table. And we're not just talking engineers here, we need ethicists and employees too. Third, write rock-solid ethical guardrails. And fourth, you absolutely have to implement continuous reskilling. We're going to need AI trainers, workflow designers, and ethical auditors to manage the whole shebang.
Because the ultimate goal here is human-AI collaboration. Agentic AI should be doing the heavy lifting with the data, while humans handle the strategy, the empathy, and the relationship building. But for us to actually trust these autonomous agents, we need explainable AI. The models have to be able to justify exactly why they made a decision. We need robust governance and regular, rigorous audits to test for those exact biases we talked about earlier.
I really want to highlight this quote because it hits the nail right on the head regarding our ultimate goal, human-centric AI. Technologies designed to augment human capabilities rather than replace them, fostering collaboration between humans and machines. If we can keep this principle at the absolute core of our development, we can reap all the incredible benefits of agentic AI without sacrificing our societal well-being. Which leaves us with a pretty massive thought to chew on. Agentic AI isn't just a distant concept. It's already acting, deciding, and executing all around us. The macroeconomic gambles are huge, and industry shifts are very, very real. So I leave you with this. How are you going to adapt your own skills and ethics to thrive in this new era of autonomous agentic AI? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, and I'll see you in the next one.